Hi, and in today's Microsoft Word tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this flyer in Word. I'm going to give you all the techniques, the tools and the tricks to ensure all of your text and your images and your graphics are all lined up and really easy to move around. I'm going to also teach you how to select colour palettes and how to match those colour palettes. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do before selecting all of our different graphics is decide on our colour palette. And I've always struggled with this section, so I'll go ahead and show you how it makes it a lot easier. The first thing we need to do is decide on our graphic here. This graphic isn't developed in Word, but is actually from a free online resource called Pixabay. So let's go over to Pixabay and I'll show you exactly how I inserted this dog. So Pixabay, as you can see at the top here, is a free online resource of images, vectors and videos. So if I just type dogs into the search engine, then go over to this section here, click on the drop down, and you need to go to vector graphics. And as you can see, ignore the ones across the top here unless you want to pay for your images. There are free coupons up here, but largely this section down here will be the free resources. Now you can just scroll through and you can select from any of these images you like. You can either select a single dog or you can go ahead and select a collection like this. So once you click on your image, you may have to join by just simply adding your email address, and then you just click on the free download here. Once you've downloaded your free image, then you can go ahead and use it in your poster. I've already downloaded my image, so the first thing I'm going to do is click Insert, Picture, From File, and then I'm going to click on my download and click Insert. Now obviously I don't want all of these images, so all I need to do is go up to the crop icon here. Make sure you're on the picture format tab at the top. If you're not, you need to highlight your image. Go up to the crop icon here and just click, and then you'll get these thick black marks around the edge of your image. Then all you need to do is click on the corner and drag to the image you want. And then just simply click crop. And there you have your single image of the dog. If you go ahead and try and move the dog, often it won't do so. So again, make sure you're on picture format and go along to wrap text. Click on the drop down and select in front of text. Once you do that, your dog can move around your image quite freely. Now once you've got the image you want, you can then go ahead and select your colour palette. And the way I did that was to go on over to Pinterest. If you go on over to Pinterest and then you type colour palettes into Pinterest, you're given a large array of different colour palettes that you can choose from. So what I tried to do is to look at the colour of my image and then try to compare some of those colour palettes with that brown. And what I did do is I managed to find this particular colour palette here, and then I selected number 25 here. Now if you're working on a screen where you can look at lots of different windows, then you won't necessarily need to copy and paste or take a screenshot. But I think sometimes it's easier just to take a screenshot to enable you to access that colour palette quite easily in your document. So I'm just going to take a quick screenshot and then close that down. Then again, go to Insert, Picture, From File, go to my desktop, Screenshot, Insert. And there you have your colour palette. Now obviously this colour palette will be deleted at the end. We're just going to go to in front of text again to allow us to move that round. So the reason I selected this particular colour palette was because the brown largely matched the brown of the dog, and I quite like these additional colours here. So the first thing to decide is the colour of your poster, the background colour. So I've selected this colour here for my background. So if you go up to Design and go along to the Page Colour icon, click on the drop down, go right down to More Colours, click on this eyedropper tool here, and then take your tool, your circle, all the way over to this colour and just click. Then your colour will appear in this square here, and then just click OK. So the next thing to do is to insert the sky. If we just show you this element here, and then we'll insert the hills at the back here. So go to Insert, Shapes, click on this square icon here, and then just simply click and drag. Now all shapes by default will have a fill in the centre and a border around the outside. So if we just zoom in, you can see if I just click off, you can see there's a border running around the outside here. So in order to change the colour of this sky, then we'll just go to Shape Fill, More Colours, click on the eyedropper, and then we'll go down to our selection here and click OK. And then we're going to go to the Shape Outline tool here. Make sure you're on the Shape Format tab. Click on the drop down and select No Outline. When we click off, you can see that the outline has disappeared. The next thing we're going to do is insert the hills behind. So just go to Insert, Shape, down to this shape here. Mine's up here because it's a recently used shape. If yours doesn't appear, then just simply scroll down and you'll find it here. And then just simply click and drag. Again, we're quickly going to go up and fill this shape with the same colour as our background. So click on the drop down, and recent colours will save the colours that you've recently selected. And as you can see, my colours are already in there because I've rehearsed this tutorial. So I'm just going to select the colour of the background, and again go up to Shape Outline and click No Outline. And then I'm just going to use this circular icon here whilst hitting the Shift key, and I'm just going to rotate that shape and then move it up to where I want it. Once I've done that, I'm going to press Command or Control C to copy this shape, Command or Control V to paste it, and I'm going to paste it twice. So I'm going to move one across to here, and I'm going to move a shape up to here. Now our background shape is darker than our foreground hills, just to give a little bit of perspective. So I'm going to fill this with a slightly darker colour, but based on this shade. So again, I'll go up to Shape Fill, click on the drop down. If I select this colour here, but click on More Fill Colours, I can use this slider here to ensure that we're still on the same colour, but we're just going to make it darker. So we're just going to slide that to the right and click OK. And as you can see, that shape has gone darker. In order to put this shape behind this shape here, we're going to go up to these icons here. And then all we're going to do is just click Send Backwards. Then this shape is simply sent behind this shape here. Then with this shape, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and then just move it round until I'm happy. And of course, you can move these round and shape them, make them bigger and smaller. It really is your choice. So as you can see, this shape is over the top of the dog. So if we just click on the dog, click on Picture Format, go to the Bring Forward icon, click on the drop down and select Bring to Front. And then you can see our dog appears here. The next thing we're going to do is create the lead that runs from the dog's neck up and off to the side. So to do that, we're going to Insert, Shape, and we're going to click on this icon here, Curve, and you'll find it down here in Lines. Then I'm going to click my cursor and then lift my mouse up, click again, and double click. Now you can see currently this line is blue, so we want to change that, and we also want to change the thickness of that line. So I'm on the Shape Format tab. I'm going to go along to Format Pane. If this icon doesn't appear, then just double click on your shape and the menu to the right will appear. So what will appear is this here, which is the bucket icon, the fill and the line. Just click on the line and you'll see this drop down menu here. You've got the colour here, click on the drop down and then you can select the colour of your choice. But I'm actually going to go with a gradient line. Now this is set as default on mine, but I'm just going to move this icon to the centre and get rid of this icon, select it and click delete. Now I need to go ahead and select the colours of my choice in here. So I'm going to click firstly on this icon, click the drop down, and then I'm going to select a dark brown colour. I know you can't see that palette particularly well because it's off the screen, but you'll see when you click on it your palette will come up and you'll be able to see all the colours of your choice. And as I've clicked on there, you can see that this element of the lead has changed, or the line has changed. And secondly, I'm going to go to a slightly darker grey, and then I'm finally going to go down to black. And then for the line, I'm going to increase the width of the line by clicking on this icon here and just keep clicking until I'm happy with the width of that lead. And then we'll just click off. Now if the lead appears in front of the dog and you move this, you can see the lead has appeared in front. You can either move it so that it just meets the corner there, or you can simply go up to the send backwards and it will send that line behind the dog. So what I've noticed is that the hills are a little bit too high and I want to lower them. So the quick and easy way to do that is to select one of the shapes, hold the Command or Control key down and go ahead and select the other two shapes. Then go up to Shape Format, go along to this icon here that says Group. Click on the drop down and select Group. What that does, it groups all three shapes together and allows you to move them as one. So I'm just going to simply move them down probably to about here. And then you've got this line here, so I want to move my background shape down below that shape. So if I just click on the background shape, click on the centre box and just pull that down. And then behind those hills, the sky will come along the edge here. So the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and pop in our titles up here. And the way I've done that is to insert, I've gone along to Word Art and I've selected this particular theme. And then I'm going to simply type. Then I'm going to select Command or Control A, which will select all of my text. Then I'm going to go to the Home tab. And then I'm going to change my font to Brasilia. I'm going to increase the font size. I'm going to select bold and I'm going to just increase that one more. And then I'm going to click off, click back on and just move that up. I'm just going to move this up. I'm just going to bring it to the front by clicking on Picture Format and clicking on Bring to Front. Now I want to change the colour of this font, but I also want to match it with my colour palette. So I'm going to click on my text box. I'm going to hit the Function key and click, which will mean that I've got my cursor inside. I'm going to select Command or Control A and that will highlight all of my text. Then once I'm in Shape Format, then I'm going to go over here and select Text Options. Then I'm going to go to Text Fill. I'm going to go to Colour, click on the drop down, More Colours, select the eyedropper tool and go across to the pink and click, and then just select OK. And as you can see, my text now has gone pink. Now, having looked at the other poster, we want to select this background element here. So I'm going to insert a shape, click on the drop down, and I'm going to go down to rectangles and select this rounded rectangle here. And then I'm just going to click and drag. I'm going to change the colour of this to the blue colour. So I'm still on shape format, click on the drop down, and again my colour's already saved here, so I'm just going to click on this colour. Then I'm going to get rid of the outline. I can just click on this now because I've already changed that to no outline. And then I'm going to go along to send backwards, click on the drop down and just click send backwards. If nothing happens, I click on it again and eventually it will send it back so that it will be behind the text. Now my text has lost a little bit of shadow. So what I'm going to do is just click on my text, click my function key and click my mouse. I'm going to highlight the text, Command or Control A. I'm then going to ensure I'm on text options here. I'm going to go to text effects and I'm going to click on the shadow arrow, go along to the presets, click on the drop down, and I'm going to select a preset of my choice, which I've selected top center. And then just click off and you can see that my shadow has reappeared. In order to ensure that both the text and the box behind it are lined up correctly, what you need to do is click on the edge of the box. So now we've highlighted the teal box. Hold the Command or Control key down and select the text. You can see that you've got two boxes now highlighted at the same time. So at the moment we can see that they're actually lined up to the center, which is perfect. But if they're not, go up to Shape Format and go along to this alignment icon. Click on the drop down and then you can select Align to Center here. And that will ensure that all of these boxes are perfectly lined up, meaning your text is exactly in the middle of your box. You can also see here that the boxes are misaligned. So if we go back up to the alignment tool and then we align to middle here. And now you can see that those boxes there are perfectly lined up. I'd now like a little bit more space between the P and the edge of this box. So I'm just going to click on the edge of the box. That's the text. That's it. I'm just going to simply select the middle square and pull down. Now if I'm happy with all of this and I want them to stay exactly where they are, then again I can go ahead and click on both the box, hold the Command or Control key down, select the text, then go up to this icon here that says Group, click on the drop down and select Group. Now if I move this round, both the text and the shape will move as one. Now don't worry if you made a mistake, you can simply go back up to Group, click on the drop down and select Ungroup, and it will ungroup those two elements. But I'm just going to group them at the moment to make life easier. The next thing to do is just to move this box down so we can just put the next element of text here. So again, I'm going to insert, go to Word Art, and I'm going to select the same icon. Just enter your text, and then I'm going to select in fact, let's just move this up so that we can see what's going on. I'm going to select the function key, click on the text, Command or Control A to select the text, and then go up to the Home tab. I'm going to select the Abject Failure font, and then I'm going to select font 72, and then I'm going to change the colour of this font. I'm going to move it in a second. So because this is technically a shape, because it's word art, you need to use these options here. You can't go over to the Home tab and change the text using this icon. You have to go to Text Options, go down to the colour icon, click on the drop down, click More Colours, click on the eyedropper tool, and then just move it to the colour of your choice. Now you can select any of the colours or a colour from the dog, but I'm going to select the pink and then just click OK. I'm going to click off the box and back on and then just move it up to here. Now to make sure that this text is in line with this box here with all the text in, then again just click Command or Control key on your keyboard and click on the box above, and then you can tell if you're in line or not. So I'm just going to line these two up by going to Shape Format, go into the Alignment tool, click on the drop down and select Align to Center. And then you can see they're perfectly lined up. If the gap between these two isn't to your liking, then just simply click on the box and use your arrow keys. Try not to use the mouse because you have a tendency then to move left or right, and you've just aligned them. So you can just move them up or down depending on where you want them. Once you're happy, you can go ahead, click the Command or Control key again, and then you can group them. So again, go up to the group icon, click on the drop down and select Group. And now you can move this round as one complete element. And what makes this easier is I can now go ahead and just click on Position, click on the drop down and select Top Center. Now I know that's perfectly in the center, I can then just use my arrow key and just move it upwards. Now at the end of this, if we're not happy, we can just move those elements around. But now we've grouped them all, it's far easier to do so. So let's just zoom out. Now I think before we go any further, I'm going to group the dog and the lead together. Press Command or Control. Group those two together, go to Shape Format, click Group, select Group, and I'm just going to move him down. I'm going to select the hills and I'm just going to move those down. And then I'm just going to select the sky again and just drag that down behind the hills again. Okay, so now I'm going to move this up here, and then we're going to concentrate on all the tearaway information parts at the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is insert a text box, draw text box, and then I'm going to simply click and drag. Now I've worked out in the rehearsal, in order to get 8 contact strips across the bottom, you need to select a box which is 2.69 by 7.42. So we'll go up to here and we'll put 2.69 by 7.42 and press enter. The next thing we need to do is just to type in our information. And then I'm just going to click Command or Control A to select all the text, go up to the Home tab, and then change the font, put it in bold, increase the size, center it, and just increase the size a bit more. Then once this is selected, I'm going to go across here to Text Options, select this box here, and then go to Vertical Alignment, click on the drop down and select Middle. And then my text will be in the center there. It's going to increase the text a little bit more, increase the size. And now, because I want the dotted line to go around the outside, I'm going to go over to Shape Options. And then I'm going to go down to Dash Type Style, click on the drop down, and then I'm going to select this option here, Long Dash. And then click off and just check that. Let's zoom in. And then I'm just going to increase the size of that line. So again, go to Shape Options, and then the width of that line I'm going to increase to 1.5. Click off just to check that. Okay, so now what I want to do is change the background of this text box to this lighter colour here. So I'm going up to Shape Format, click on Shape Fill, click on the drop down, select More Fill Colours, click on the eyedropper tool and just scroll over the top of that light colour. And then click and press OK. Now I'm going to rotate this but I'm going to hold down the Shift key at the same time, it will have certain points at which it will click into position. And then obviously at 270, you can just let the mouse go, and now that's changed to a vertical box. Now I'm just going to move that down here. And then I'm going to press Command or Control C and then Command or Control V, and I'm just going to click that 7 times. And then I'm just going to move each one of these boxes. I'm not going to be terribly accurate at the moment because we will need to move them eventually. Don't worry about that last one fitting, I'll show you how to do that. So if we now just hold the Command or Control key down and click on all of the boxes, and then just go up to Alignment, and then go down to Distribute Horizontally. That will distribute all of these equally across the page. And now I want to align them to the top or the middle, it doesn't matter. So click Align, Align to Top, and as you can see now they all line up at the top. If I just click off, the adjustment that I want to make is to ensure that this dotted line here disappears. So I'm just going to click on this box and use my arrow key to move it left until those lines disappear. And then the next thing I want to do is just put a solid line across the top here. So I'm going to go to Insert, Shapes, click on the drop down and select Line. Then I'm going to hold the Shift key down and just go all the way across to the other end. Now you can't see it very well, but there is a line there, and there are 2 green circular balls each end to show that it's highlighted. Then I go back over to Shape Format, make sure I'm on the bucket tool here, and then I'm going to go down to Width, and I'm going to increase the width of my line, and I think I'll go up to 2 points. And then change the colour to black. And then we can just click off that. Then if I just zoom out to check I'm happy. Now if you can see that the line is slightly showing the dotted line, all you have to do is select the line and then just use your arrow key to move it up or down, however it fits. Now the final thing to do is just select our box here and put all our information in. I can get rid of this now because we don't need it, because we've got all the colours that we need already in our poster. So I'm just going to highlight that and click Delete. Just zoom back in. And then I'm going to Insert, Shape, click on the drop down and just select this rounded rectangle. Click and drag. And I've tried to place this roughly in the centre of this shape here. Now I can align them eventually, but first I'm just going to change the colour. So again, ensure my shape is selected, go up to Shape Fill, click on the drop down, and now you can select from the colours that we've already recently used. And then click Shape Outline, No Outline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put all the information in. So I'm going to Insert, Text Box, Draw Text Box. I'm going to draw my first text box and insert my information. Now before we go to the next stage, it's really important that you format this box exactly how you want it and the little paw beside it, because all we're going to do then is copy and paste it, and it saves you having to do the same process over and over again to create all the different bullet points. So I'm going to get rid of the background by going to Shape Format, Shape Fill, No Fill, Shape Outline, No Outline. And I'm just going to reduce the size of it until I'm happy. Now what we need to do is to create the bullet point as well. Once we've done that, we can make them into a group and then copy and paste them, and then just simply edit the text. So I go up to Insert, I go to Icons, and then I'm going to search for paw. And as you can see, I can use this selection here. If you don't have this on your computer, You can use clip art, or you can go back to the internet, you can go back to Pixabay, and then you can simply type in the search engine, pause, make sure you're on vectors again, and then they have an array of paws that you can choose from. Then you can just download one of those images and use it in exactly the same way as an image. So I'm going to select this icon here, click on the circle and click Insert. Now the surround has appeared but not the actual picture, so I've got to bring it forward. So all I've got to do is to go to Wrap Text, make sure you're on Graphics Format, click on the drop down and select In Front of Text. And then they'll appear here. Then I need to make them into a shape, so I'm just going to go across and convert to shape. Now if I just zoom in, now if I just drag this down, if I click on one of these paws, you can see now that all the paws are individual elements. And what I need to do is I need to select one paw, copy and paste it, and get rid of this icon here. So I've just got one paw on its own. So I'm going to hit the Command or Control key, and then I'm going to select all the different elements of this paw. Then I'm going to click Command or Control C, Command or Control V, and as you can see, I've got a paw on its own here. So if I click on this one, which is the original icon, press delete, now I've got a paw on its own. However, if I just click on this and move it, just this bit will move. So it's important now to group this together. So I need to click on each section again, go up to Shape Format, and then go to Group, click on the drop down and select Group. And now you have a paw of its own. And now if I want to change the colour, if I go to Shape Format, click on Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select a colour. Now I'm just going to reduce the size of this. If I hit the Shift key, then it will keep the dimensions of that paw and it won't stretch it to be taller or wider. Then I'm going to simply line it up exactly where I want it against my bullet point. And once it's close, I can then use my arrow keys to make sure it's in exactly the right place. Because once we do this, we want it then to be exactly the same for all the other bullet points. Once I'm happy with its position against the text, hit the Command or Control key again and click the mouse on the text. Then go up to Shape Format, along to Group, click on the drop down and select Group. Now I have one complete bullet point. Now all we're going to do with this in order to use it for the rest of the information is to copy and paste it. So click on the box, Command or Control C, Command or Control V, and move it down. Don't worry about being too accurate with the alignment because we'll sort all that out at the end. Then click on the text and you can see there's an inner box that appears. If your cursor isn't inside the text, either double click or click the function key and click your mouse. Press Command or Control A to highlight the text and then just enter the new text. Do exactly the same for all the different bullet points and then we'll line them up at the end. Okay, once we're happy with all the information that we've entered, then we can just go ahead and click on each of the boxes whilst holding down the Command or Control key. And then we're just going to go up to the alignment tool. So we can distribute them vertically so they're equal distance apart. And we can also align to the left. Then we can just play around with the spacing if we need to. So I'm just going to move some of these down and then I'm going to align them again so they're a little bit further apart, just to fill this shape. And just move that up a little bit. And then go ahead again, select all the different boxes, go to align, distribute vertically, and then I'm going to align to left. Once you're happy with everything, instead of clicking off that, you can make this entire section into a group. So I'm just going to go up to group, click on the drop down and select group. And then all of that text is one complete element. And then I can align it in this box. I can either align it to the center, or I can just use it to move it around to where I think it's suitable. So I'm going to align it to the center here, and then I can move it left and right. So if I click on the box with the text in, hold the Command or Control key down and click on the outer box, go up to align, and then align to middle. And then it means that these two boxes here are lined up. And then just click off. Now I feel like the text should move slightly to the right. Once I'm happy, I'm going to make the whole lot into a group. So I'm going to select the text, Command or Control, hit the text box, and then I'm going to group them. And now this whole section will move as one element. So I want to align it with this hill here, but currently all the hills are in a group. So I'm going to select the hills, go to group, select ungroup, then I'm just going to click off them, click on this box here, Command or Control, and click on this hill here. And as you can see, the two aren't lined up. Let me just zoom in. So you can see the two aren't lined up here. So just go to align, align to center. And now this box is perfectly in line with this hill. Then if I want to go ahead and make those hills a group again, just click on the groups, the hills, sorry, click group and select group. And then finally, let's zoom out. Check we're happy. Now I've just realised we just need to put a slight shadow on this box here. So click on the box, go to Shape Format, Format Pane, go to the Shape options here, click on this shape here, go down to Shadows, and I'm just going for top middle. And then you can just see there's a nice shadow around the edge that just gives it that slight 3D effect. And then just click off. So I hope that's given you lots of tools and tricks and techniques to develop your own flyers, be it dog walking or other professions or invitations, etc., etc. I hope it's helped. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I do answer most of the comments made. If it's helped, please subscribe and have a great day.